Letter 112 by Charles Lamb. Dated at end, September 21, 1803. My dear Sarah, I returned home from my visit yesterday, and was much pleased to find your letter, for I have been very anxious to hear how you are going on. I could hardly help expecting to see you when I came in, yet, though I should have rejoiced to have seen your merry face again, I believe it was better as it was. Upon the whole, and all things considered, it is certainly better you should go to Malta. The terms you are upon with your lover does, as you say, it will appear wondrous strange to me. However, as I cannot enter into your feelings, I certainly can have nothing to say to it, only that I sincerely wish you happy in your own way, however odd that way may appear to me to be. I would begin now to advise you to drop all correspondence with William. But, as I said before, as I cannot enter into your feelings and views of things, your ways not being my ways, why should I tell you what I would do in your situation? So, child, take thy own ways, and God prosper thee in them. One thing my advising spirit must say, use as little secrecy as possible, and, as much as possible, make a friend of your sister-in-law. You know I was not struck with her at first sight, but, upon your account, I have watched and marked her very attentively, and, while she was eating a bit of cold mutton in our kitchen, we had a serious conversation. From the frankness of her manner, I am convinced she is a person I could make a friend of. Why should not you? We talked freely about you. She seems to have a just notion of your character, and will be fond of you, if you will let her. My father had a sister lived with us, of course, lived with my mother, her sister-in-law. They were, in their different ways, the best creatures in the world, but they set out wrong at first. They made each other miserable for full 20 years of their lives. My mother was a perfect gentlewoman, my auntie as unlike a gentlewoman as you can possibly imagine a good old woman to be. So that my dear mother, who, though you do not know it, is always in my poor head and heart, used to distress and weary her with incessant and unceasing attention and politeness, to gain her affection. The old woman could not return this in kind, and did not know what to make of it, thought it all deceit, and used to hate my mother with a bitter hatred, which of course was soon returned with interest. A little frankness and looking into each other's characters at first would have spared all this, and they would have lived, as they died, fond of each other for the last few years of their life. When we grew up and harmonized them a little, they sincerely loved each other. My aunt and my mother were wholly unlike you and your sister, yet in some degree, theirs is the secret history, I believe, of all sisters-in-law. And you will smile when I tell you, I think myself the only woman in the world who could live with a brother's wife, and make a real friend of her, partly from early observation of the unhappy example I have just given you, and partly from a knack I know I have of looking into people's real characters, and never expecting them to act out of it, never expecting another to do as I would in the same case. When you leave your mother and say, if you never shall see her again, you shall feel no remorse, and when you make a Jewish bargain with your lover, all this gives me no offense, because it is your nature and your temper, and I do not expect or want you to be otherwise than you are. I love you for the good that is in you, and look for no change. But certainly, you ought to struggle with the evil that does most easily beset you. A total want of politeness in behavior, I would say modesty of behavior, but that I should not convey to you my idea of the word modesty. For I certainly do not mean that you want real modesty. And what is usually called false or mock, modesty is a quality I certainly do not wish you to possess. Yet I trust you know what I mean well enough. Secrecy, though you appear all frankness, is certainly a grand failing of yours. It is likewise your brother's, and therefore a family failing. By secrecy, I mean you both want the habit of telling each other at the moment everything that happens, where you go, and what you do, the free communication of letters and opinions just as they arrive, as Charles and I do, and which is, after all, the only groundwork of friendship. Your brother, I will answer for it, will never tell his wife or his sister all that is in his mind. He will receive letters and not mention it. This is a fault Mrs. Stoddart can never tell him of, but she can and will feel it, though on the whole and in every other respect she is very happy with him. Begin, for God's sake, at the first, and tell her everything that passes. At first she may hear you with indifference, but in time this will gain her affection and confidence. Show her all your letters, no matter if she does not show hers. It is a pleasant thing for a friend to put into one's hand a letter just fresh from the post. I would even say, begin with showing her this, but that it is written freely and loosely, and some apology ought to be made for it, which I know not how to make, for I must write freely or not at all. If you do this, she will tell your brother, you will say, and what then, quotha? It will beget a freer communication amongst you, which is a thing devoutly to be wished. God bless you, and grant you may preserve your integrity, and remain unmarried and penniless, and make William a good and a happy wife. Your affectionate friend, Charles is very unwell and my head aches. He sends his love, mine, with my best wishes to your brother and sister. I hope I shall get another letter from you. Wednesday, 21st September, 1803. Sarah Stoddart was the sister of Dr. John Stoddart, who had just been appointed the King's and the Admiralty's advocate at Malta, whither Miss Stoddart followed him. Her lover of that moment was a Mr. Turner, and William was an earlier lover still. Her sister-in-law was Mrs. John Stoddart, née Isabella Moncrief, whom her brother had only just married. My mother, this is the only reference to her mother in any of Mary Lamb's letters. The sister was Sarah Lamb, usually known as Aunt Hetty.